Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee and Chat with Hallee Bridgeman. I'm so happy you could join me today. I have my cup of coffee, so I hope you have your cup of coffee or tea or whatever you drink in the morning, and you have a few minutes while we chat. So my kids are home from school still. We have today and next Monday. They go back to school next Thursday. So it's a little loud beyond the office door. One of them has already interrupted as I was setting up for this, so anything can happen. And we just got home from a week in Deep Creek Lake, Maryland, which is Oakland, Maryland. My side of the family had a big family reunion and in celebrating my parents' 50th anniversary. So I've just spent a week with my aunts and uncle and parents and siblings and nieces and nephews, and we got in last night and it was an amazing week, and it's good to be home. So I'm really happy that we can get back into normal, which is Monday morning coffee and chats. So today I'm answering the question, do I get to travel a lot for research? And that's, as I'm coming home from a trip, that's probably a good question to answer. The fact is that anywhere I go, if it's to the local steakhouse, I feel like I'm getting research done. Number one, I get to people watch outside of, my home and my community. And the more I people watch, the more I learn how to do dialogue that's realistic, to do facial expressions, to do interactions, to do reactions, to figure out what people do with their hands, to try to figure out if someone's having a conflict, and if they're having a conflict, how are they resolving it, that kind of thing. And so to me, that's like an invaluable research tool. And the further I am away from the people that I know all the time, the more I'm able to do that with strangers, the more value I get out of it as a writer. Another thing is that I've talked about before about the flood of ideas that I get wherever I go. And there's no stopping it. I've learned over the last 20 years to filter it, but it doesn't go away. And so when I travel, I tend to kind of let that open up and try to remove the filter just a little bit so that I can let the ideas come and start working on them. For instance, Deep Creek Lake, Maryland, is this beautiful homemade or man-made reservoir lake. It's amazing. It has a beach. It has lots and lots of tourist activities, lots of amazing restaurants. There was places where you could go rent water sports and boats, and I imagine that there's fishing, and it's huge. It's a huge community, but there's also this huge vacation rental property place. And the street that we were on and the neighborhood that we were in, every other house was owned by this company or managed, I don't know how it works, or managed by this company. And then driving down the road to go to their rental office, there's that name, over and over and over again in different kind of buildings. And so it's clearly a big business there to rent houses. And but it's also a ski resort area. And so you can see the giant hills, and at the top of them are the valet type places. And what they've done is they've converted the ski slopes into this kind of adventurous roller coaster ride track where you're in your own cart and you control the brakes and stuff as you go down the hill. So you go up the ski lift and down in a cart, or where in the wintertime you go up the ski lift and down on skis. And so it's they've created this community that's both winter and summer, and in a brilliant way. I can see how it's this active, vital community in the winter as much as it is in the summer. And all of a sudden, as I'm, a full week there and going to all these different places and experiencing all these things, my mind is just going and going and going with all the different ideas I could come up with series, with standalone books, with murder mysteries, because you have a winter and a summer. I would make the community a little smaller so that there's more interaction with people and places, and that kind of thing. I would maybe isolate it a little further from the real world, so to speak. so that it's like a self-sustaining community. But that's something that I would do with it. And you know, it's like I have this huge production schedule for the next, until the end of 2020. I know what books I'm going to write. And as I'm sitting here, you know, on the shore of this lake watching kids jump off of rocks into water, I'm thinking, oh, but I can write this book and I can write that book. And oh, wouldn't it be cool if a body washed up on shore here? And what would happen if, and that's just how my mind works. And so it's like that wherever I go, whatever I do, wherever I am. And so I consider any trip, whatever it is, to be research. And so, yes, I travel a lot for research. And I'm blessed to have been married to a man who loves to travel as much as I do. And I think that if we had the ability to have no need for work and no need for kids to go to school, that we would just travel, you know. We would hop from place to place and experience to experience and just travel. I have intentionally traveled for research before. I drove to Richmond, Virginia and spent the day there interviewing and sitting alongside the assistant or the prosecuting attorney for the city of Richmond. When I was writing my book, A Carol for Kent, I have spent an entire spring break, I think it was spring break or a week of summer, I don't remember, going from Alabama to North Carolina to South Carolina in a circle and touring naval ships that are museums for World War II, like the USS Alabama, Battleship Park, I think it's Battleship Park in Charleston, South Carolina, or Patriots Point or something like that, that has like an aircraft carrier that I was able to tour. I went to Hawaii to tour Pearl Harbor. I intend to go to Japan to tour Japan as I prepare to write a Pacific War, World War II series. So I do intentionally say I need to go to this place and I need to do this research. However, the fact is that anywhere I go is research. So that was a great question. Thank you for that question. And I'm so happy to be back. I took a couple weeks off as I was under a deadline, and so I didn't want to take the time to do a video. And then I was with my family, or actually last Monday I was driving, and I thought about doing it as I was driving, and then I thought, no, for one, I didn't know what the internet reception would be like, and another, I wasn't sure how safe that would be. So anyway, I'm back. School starts next week, so y'all have a great week, and I will see you next Monday. God bless you.